All right, hello everybody. Is that working, Celine? Yeah, go. Great. Hello everyone. Welcome to Introduction to FLO and Textbooks. So my name's Amy. I'm one of the librarians here at Flinders Uni. And in front of me here I also have Celine, our senior librarian, who's going to be doing some moderating on the app as well. So if you haven't already logged into the Events Here app, hop on and have a look at it. So you can post questions in there throughout, and we'll try and go through some of those questions at the end as well. So we wish to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional custodians of the land upon which we meet today, whether that's in person or online. We would also like to acknowledge and pay respect to the elders of the land, both past and present. So this week is O Week. Next week you've got Connect Week, which has some other fun stuff. So have a look on the website for more details about that as well. And again, if you're not already on the event app, that's how you get into it. So download the app from either the Apple Store or Google Play. Use the event code Flinders for access, and then enter in the email and password that you got when you first signed up for orientation. Click on the orientation program and find Intro to FLO and Textbooks on the calendar to join in with the session that we're doing today. All right, so let's get into it. So we're talking about getting to know FLO and finding your textbooks and readings. So what is FLO? So we use a lot of acronyms here at Flinders. You may have already started to pick up on that. So FLO stands for Flinders Learning Online. So it's kind of like the gateway to all of your learning at Flinders. So it's got your topics, it's got your communication with your topic coordinators, or TCs, as you'll hear it shortened to as well. It's also how you access your readings, submit your assessments, and basically pretty much everything that you're going to need, or almost everything you'll need when you're studying here, you're going to find it on FLO. So it's really good to get familiar with it as soon as you can. So that's why you're here, so awesome start. So to access FLO, it's best accessed through your Okta dashboard, which you log into using your FAN and your password. So we recommend using either Chrome or Firefox to access FLO, as they're kind of like the most compatible with FLO and they tend to play nicely. Safari can be a little bit clunky, so if you've got a Mac, recommend downloading a different browser to use with FLO. So this is your FLO dashboard. So when you first log into FLO, this is kind of what you will see. So you've got your profile up on the top right-hand corner of the screen there with your details there. So you've got your topics are in the middle and on the left as well. So there's a couple of different ways to be able to access your topics there. Your recently accessed topics are at the top of the page as well. So if you have particular topics that you're going into a lot, they're going to appear there to make it a bit easier to find them. If you can't see your topics in FLO, there's a little filter button underneath where it says My Topics. And just make sure that all is selected on there. Because sometimes it will be set to future or past or maybe starred. So if you can't find your topics, there's a good chance they might be hiding in there instead. Your topics first become available 7 days before the start date. So if you're hoping to get a jump start several weeks in advance, unfortunately you're not going to be able to, but you can 7 days beforehand is when your topics will start showing up on FLO. So this is kind of what a typical topic will look like in FLO. So it's generally either in a modular format or a grid, depending on how your topic coordinator has chosen to set it up. So basically you go through and you click on each either module or tile to expand that information and get more there as well. You've also got the navigation menu on the left-hand side for within the topic as well. So the topic blocks up on your top right-hand corner has lots of useful information in it. So you can find the contact details of your topic coordinator and any other teaching staff for the topic, which is always quite handy to have. It's got upcoming events and a calendar, so you can keep track of when all your assessments are due. It's got other topic information, and it's also got a link to the student evaluation of teaching, all the sets. So you'll get reminder emails about filling those out sort of towards the end of semester. So those are really useful so that the lecturers and teaching staff can get feedback on what you did and didn't like about the course, so they can continue to improve as well. So we really like when students fill out the sets. So you can also access other important resources through FLO as well. So one you'll see mentioned a lot is the Statement of Assessment Methods, or SAMs. So it sets out all of the requirements of your topic, so it's really important to be familiar with that one. You've also got your topic guide or handbook, so that will have a lot of information about your topic in there. It will probably have, contact details, maybe a schedule of what the semester is going to look like. Your topic coordinator will put lots of things in that topic guide, so it's really important to be familiar with that one as well, particularly at the start of the topic. You've also got announcements and discussion forums. So your topic coordinator may use the discussion forums to post updates about your topic or communicate with you. Sometimes you do assessments through the discussion forums as well. So you may have to do a post on the forums that the TCs look at. So all of these things are all very important resources as well, and you'll get familiar with those as you start to use FLO more. So the other main thing are your readings. So readings are basically the word that we use for any of your course materials. So even though it's called readings, it could be book chapters, it could be a textbook, it could be journal articles, it could be videos or podcasts. It really depends on how your topic coordinator has chosen to set out your learning materials and what they think is important for you to learn. So generally speaking, these are going to be available electronically, 24/7 access on or off campus, because they're all accessed through FLO using your fan. So even if you're at home, you can still study and access all your readings from home. So to be able to find your readings on FLO, there's a little black and white icon of a book to be able to access them. It's often quite a small link, so I tend to find, to make it easy sometimes, go to expand all on your modules and then do Control F or Command F and search readings, and then you're going to be able to find it a lot quicker. Otherwise, you've got to scroll through lots sometimes to try and find that link. So that link will open up into a separate page that you can see here. There's an example of what the readings list looks like. How the readings list is split up depends again on how your TC has chosen to do it. So they might split it up by types of resource, like textbooks, e-readings, videos, whatnot, or they may split it by weeks or by modules to be able to have everything in that one spot together. So it will always look a little bit different, but it should be clearly set out with how you need to approach those readings. So when you go into your readings, you'll see something like this here. So you'll find the resources that have been picked out by your TC as well as where to find them. So you can either access them online or in a hard copy, sometimes both, depending on what the resource is. So for example, we've got Campbell Biology here, is available as both online and hard copy. So you can see, for example, that top one, Biology and Australian Focus, is available in a hard copy because it says it's at Central Library and tells you the call number of where to find it physically in the library as well. Whereas the second one below, Campbell Biology, says view online. So you can click on that and look at the book online immediately. And then Campbell Biology again is also available in hard copy. If you have a look through your FLO topic and you can't find that little black and white readings list, or maybe the list is empty, check your topic guide on FLO because you may find more information in there. So sometimes they may be listed in the topic guide or the handbook instead. And not all topics are going to have a set textbook. It really depends on how the TC has chosen to, what sort of resources they want you to have that they think are important for your learning. So it may not be a set textbook, it may be a combination of a few different other types of resources. So for example, this is a screenshot here of one of the topic guides where they've just mentioned it within the topic guide rather than linked to it in the readings list. So if it doesn't show up in your readings list, have a look on here as well. Do you need to buy all of your textbooks? This is always a big question. So you don't necessarily need to buy a copy of all of your textbooks. So look for guidance from your topic coordinator about it. So whether or not they've labelled it as required or highly recommended or anything like that, they'll generally mention it probably in the topic guide or maybe the discussion forums. Just look for that information about whether or not you need a copy of it. So we also endeavour to carry copies of all the required textbooks for every topic that's offered at Flinders. So in either digital or print format or sometimes both. So there's no charge for accessing your readings and textbooks through the library. And so whether or not you want to buy them also kind of comes down to personal preference. So if we only have it in digital, but you would prefer a hard copy of a book, then perhaps you might like to buy it or maybe try and get a hard copy from the library. So it comes down to personal preference, but we do try and provide everything that you need through the library. So your other important resources on FLO. So FLO is where you'll submit your assignments. It's where you've got online quizzes, the forums, online exams are often through FLO as well. So it's good to get familiar with all of that. So in terms of submitting your assessments, I probably sound like I'm preaching to the choir, or you've heard this 100 times already. Give yourself plenty of time to submit your assignment, especially the first time round. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes submitting things if you're not used to FLO. So give yourself enough time, don't leave it to the last minute. So a couple of other good tips. Make sure that you've saved the file as the correct file type for the assignment Dropbox. So it may need to be a PDF or a Word document. It may need to be a PowerPoint or a video. So how you need to submit it will depend on the assignment and how your TC has set it up. So make sure you give yourself plenty of time to upload it, particularly if it's a video assignment. If the file is quite large, it may take a long time to upload. So give yourself time, don't stress yourself out unnecessarily. So when you submit it, it should look like this little screenshot here that says submitted for grading in the green box. If it doesn't say submitted for grading, it may still be in draft format. You want to make sure that it's green and says submitted. So make sure you click the submit button again. When you first upload it, it generally does it as a draft, so you can double check things and then finally submit it. So make sure it's green. And you'll generally also get an email confirming that you have submitted the assignment as well. So the FLO student support pages are really useful. So at the top of FLO, there's a little link that says quick links and then go to FLO student support. So your first point of call whenever you're having trouble with FLO is to go through there. So it's got step-by-step instructions for almost everything you need to do in FLO, particularly around things like submitting assignments like Turnitin, which is the plagiarism checking software, and compressing video files as well. If you've got a really big video file assignment, you'll generally find step-by-step instructions on how to do almost everything that you need to know in there. Having said that, if you can't find your answer in FLO, so the library runs the FLO student help desk. So we're available via all those ways. So email, you can call us, you can submit an Ask Flinders request through the website, talk to us on live chat. Yes, when you go to live chat, it's a real person on the other side, not a robot. Lots of people think we are robots. It's an actual librarian who's ready to help you. You can also visit us in person during the library hours of operation. So generally speaking, that's 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And you can also find a bit of information on our social media as well. So if there are, for example, planned outages or maybe unplanned outages of systems, we're probably going to post about it on social media so you can be across that quickly and know what's going on with that. So yeah, so 9 to 5, Monday to Friday for basically all of those, and we can help you from there. That's everything I have to say. So we have 10 minutes left apparently. So Celine is going to have a look at some of the questions that we've had through the app. Would you like the microphone, Celine? Oh. Here you are. All yours. No, I did not.
Okay, so we had a question online. If you're studying externally, how will borrowing textbooks work for regional students if the text isn't online?
Yeah, sure. So there is the Send It service. So if you do a quick Google search for Flinders Send It, if you are external and remote, then you can basically apply to have books mailed to you so that you can still access hard copies. So yeah, only particular students are applicable for that. Generally speaking, if you're remote and studying completely online, then you have access to that. You just need to sign up for it through the website and you can get your books delivered to you.
So if you have any more questions, feel free to pop them in. We had a question about how much does it cost to borrow a book from the library? So I responded there that there's no charge for borrowing items or accessing electronic items from the library. So it's important to search via the library to find online articles, because if you go through Google or Google Scholar without signing in, sometimes you'll find an article and it'll ask for money, so you don't need to pay. So just look for that item on the library catalogue, or you can save your library in Google Scholar so that it finds it. And our other question was, will I find lesson recordings and handouts, information sheets uploaded in the topic blocks? And so this one I said, yes, you'll find anything that the topic coordinator puts up there. So it might be PowerPoint to go with the lecture or additional information, things like that will all be in the topic page. And as Amy said, it should be available now if your topic starts next week. Oh, and we've got, can you bring textbook copies home?
Yeah, if you're borrowing it from the library. Yep. So generally speaking, most of the time when you borrow a book, you get it for a month, sometimes 7 days, depending on how popular the item is. Having said that, we do try to accommodate a certain number of copies in the library, depending on the number of students in the topic where the textbook is a required book for that topic. So we tend to have quite a few copies. And basically, if no one else puts in a request for it, and there are still copies available on the shelf, your books or items that you've borrowed will automatically renew after that set, for example, 30-day period. And you can do that for up to a year, depending on the book. So if no one else asks for it, you can potentially hold on to that book for a year.
Probably
and
not
just
textbooks.
Keep automatically renewing for you until you eventually get an email that says the item's been recalled, which is saying it needs to come back because either you've reached a year or someone else has asked for it.
And we have another question. Is there a recommended article search engine through Flinders?
Well, so through the library, we use Find It at Flinders. So when you go to the library website, the search function on there is called Find It at Flinders, and that's what you can use basically to search all of the resources available through the library. That's online stuff, that's stuff in person or hard copies, and you can also filter your search down as well. So on the right-hand side of the search, you could say, I only want journal articles, or I only want hard copy books, or whatever it is you're looking for. If you're only looking for AV sources, you can do it all through there. So that's a really good starting point to find your resources.
Can we pay when borrowing the book from the library?
No.
So we don't sell copies.
Nah.
You do need to use Booktopia is where you can find textbooks for sale.
Yep. So if you want to buy a copy of the book, you can go through, Booktopia is a good one. So we provide a list of all the required textbooks to Booktopia to make sure they have copies in stock, generally speaking. So Booktopia is a good place to buy them from. If you're borrowing through us, it's all free, but you're not going to be able to buy the book through us because we don't have that kind of resourcing and that kind of thing. But you will be able to find it online.
Yes, I'd recommend publisher websites. You can get an online copy much cheaper than the print one, if you don't mind.
If you like reading online. Yeah.
Yes, we have. Are there audio copies of textbooks available? Some of the ebook versions do have the read function, but not audio copies that you can buy that we're aware of.
No, probably not through the library. I think if you wanted to investigate something like that, you'd probably have to look at buying your own online copy. So what we can get depends on the licensing and that kind of thing, and sometimes what you purchase as an individual will have different sort of rights to it compared to what we can buy as a library. So if you do want something like that, like an audio version of it, you may need to look at purchasing it yourself, and you can buy that online if you like.
We have lots of questions popping up. Are there limits on the books you can take home?
Oh, Selena and I discussed this earlier. You can take up to 100 books home at once. I wouldn't want that many because I would lose them all, but that's just me. So yeah, you can have up to 100 at once, generally speaking, but you can find more details about that on the library website as well, depending, like based on your status as a student and that kind of thing. Also, if you have sanctions on your account, you won't be able to borrow, so keep on top of your sanctions. We won't judge you, but just let us know.
Okay, lots of questions popping up. We've got one about past exam papers.
Oh, yes. I do believe past exam papers can be found through, I can't remember if it's through the library or elsewhere on the Flinders website. I don't think I'm fully across that to answer that properly, but you can find past exam papers through the Flinders website. So have a look through there when you get to that point. And when you sort of get towards the end of semester, there's a good chance that your TCs will sort of link to that in your FLO site as well, to help you out. So yeah.
We've got, can you repeat please how to find textbooks? I searched but cannot get it. So we do have a page that helps you find your textbook, don't we, if it's not listed in your readings on your topic page?
Yes. So it would be through the student page, I would say, on the Flinders website. So you can find, so again, when all of the topic coordinators contact the library and say, these are my required textbooks for these topics, we basically compile a list of that, we send it to Booktopia, and we also put it on the Flinders website as well. And basically there'll be a list of all the topics and then the required or recommended books as well. So I think honestly, if you do a quick Google search for that, you're probably going to find the page easier than I can explain it to you.
We do have, does the library have a coffee machine in there?
Yes.
There is a vending machine.
It's very important. We can tell you where all the best coffee is on campus, don't worry. Urban Paddock.
We've got a question about enrolment, but unfortunately the library can't help you with that one.
Yeah, anything about enrolment, get in touch with Flinders Connect. So they have all the information about enrolment. So unfortunately, we don't have access to that information.
We've got, how do we access research journals? Is Science Direct journals available via Flinders?
Yes. So you can, through the Flinders Library website, other than find it at Flinders, you can search through specific databases as well. So you'll find a link on the library website called databases where you can then find them alphabetically or by area, like subject area as well. So you can click on it and go, oh, I'm studying, health sciences. They'll have a whole list of databases that cover health sciences. So there's some really big ones. There's a couple of quite niche ones as well, depending on what you're studying. So you can find lots of links to specific databases through the library website.
Okay. Someone's having trouble selecting their topic option on FLO. What should they do?
Topic option, I'm not sure what that's referring to.
So they can contact the help page. The FLO help?
The FLO help, yeah. So top left-hand corner is the quick links. And so that's the FLO student support up in there. Otherwise, if you go to the Flinders Library website, you'll find information about contacting the FLO help desk through there as well.
Oh, and Demetrius has kindly put the link for finding textbooks in. So
awesome.
I'll pop that
Thank
in the
you.
thing.
You can do it quicker than I can right now.
Are there any limited number for borrowing books from library each time? So we've got 100 books, but there are a limited number of textbooks as well.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, if there's 500 students, we can't have that many copies of the textbook.
That'd probably be like half a floor, so.
Okay. Are the books or online research, reading this book. I think they're wondering whether books or online research is enough to search for.
Is that in reference to, like, are they suggesting in terms of, like, is just searching online enough? Like, they don't have to do primary research in person?
Yeah, so I think you'd want a mix of references from books and from journal articles and things like that.
And it also depends on what you're studying and what your topic coordinator asks for as well. So different disciplines are going to have kind of different requirements or things that suit better. So for example, most, sort of science topics, as someone who was originally a Bachelor of Science undergrad, most books by the time they come out, sometimes they're already out of date. So you probably want to go for journal articles more for your science disciplines and that kind of thing. So it really depends on what your topic coordinator suggests is appropriate for your discipline area.
And we have a couple of questions from international students that are having some trouble with visas. So unfortunately the library can't help you with that, but I would be contacting either Flinders Connect or the International Student Office. They can help you with those sort of things. And I think a lot of students, international students, are having the same problem with backlog for visas, unfortunately.
So international student services are definitely going to be your first point of call for that. They are very knowledgeable about all that kind of stuff. So definitely get in touch with them and they'll be happy to help you.
Oh, and we've got someone asking, can they volunteer at the library?
Oh, we are a good place to be. I mean, I'm a bit biased, but we don't have a volunteer program at the moment. Whether or not we have something in future, keep an eye out. We do every now and again. We just recently did an intake of student employees who work in the library and get paid instead of volunteering. So
very handy
if
while
something
you're
like
working.
that interests you, we do intakes every now and then, so keep an eye out. We don't do it outside of those normal sort of intakes, but if we do hire more, you'll see it pop up on social media. I think last time we put it on social media and Careers Hub, and we put some signs around the library as well. So we have students who come and do shelving for us for a couple of hours, or we have some who work on the desk. So yeah, and we're quite flexible around your study commitments, obviously, because, you know, that's what we're here for. So if they interest you, keep an eye out in future.
And I think we've clicked off on the online, but we do have a question about if I need an extension for my assignment, is there any way to communicate with my TC? Does it need to be in person?
No, so you do, through FLO, there is an option to use the assignment extension tool or assignment extension request. All your requests for assignment extensions have to go through that. So it's just a form that you fill out and it goes through to your TC who approves it or denies it depending on your reasoning or whatnot. So it's got to go through that, and yeah, it's a pretty straightforward form, so fill it out on there and it should be on your FLO topic. Excuse me.
I stand corrected, we still have 4 minutes.
Okay.
Someone's interested about where they can find timetable in FLO.
I think sometimes in your topic block section on the top right-hand corner, if you click in there, there'll often be timetable information in there. Otherwise, if it's not there, it will probably be somewhere within the FLO topic, probably in the first section where it's got like general information, or the topic handbook. It will be in any of those areas, depending on how your TC has set it out.
We have another student visa query about an extension, but again, you'd need to contact the International Student Office or Flinders Connect. Topics are not viewed in my topics. If you have any FLO queries, you can contact the FLO support desk, but I think that one might be related to a visa problem.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, do I need a library card or any individual registration to access libraries' facilities?
Your student card. So make sure you've always got it with you. It's very handy. You'll also need it for things like printing, releasing your printing. So carry it with you. It's very useful to have it. So you use that. So your student card also acts as your library card to be able to borrow hard copy items. And it also means that you can access the library outside of normal hours as well. You just need to talk to security for them to update your access. But you can access the library 24/7, but you need to be able to swipe in after 5 o'clock. So if that interests you, if you're someone who likes to study later at night or on a weekend or whatever, just talk to security. You just need to give them the little numbers on the bottom right-hand corner of your student card, and they can arrange for you to have 24/7 access.
And if Chelsea is in the room, we have a blank question. So if you have a question, pop it in there. Otherwise, hello. I think that's it.
Lovely. Cool. How are we going for time?
And we have about a minute left.
Oh, nicely done. Excellent, cool. Well, if no one else has any other very last minute questions to pop in the chat, I think we will end it here. But yeah.
Oh, I forgot to share the polls.
Oh, the polls.
So how many library branches do we currently have? The answer is 3.
Yes.
But we will soon be having a few more. So they're looking at opening a library branch in the Tonsley campus, and we will soon be getting one in the city, which will be near the train station. They're building a new building there, and we will have a library in there.
So the ones here at Bedford Park, you've got Central Library, which is the one just across the plaza. You've got Sturt Library, which is in the Sturt precinct, and then you've got the Medical Library in Flinders Medical Centre as well. And you can borrow from all three and go to all three.
Our other poll was, what time does the library close? So we've got 47% with never. That will be correct.
Nicely done. Yep.
Although staff are only here 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
We're here 9 to 5 to help you, but if you want to get in after hours, talk to security.
And the electronic resources are available all the time.